In this video, I'm going to show you guys all the best gaming equipment you can buy for competitive Fortnite. Normally, I'll provide the best option for each specific item. However, for this video in particular, I'm going to approach it differently. Besides giving the best option that money can possibly buy, I'll also provide the best budget option if you want to get similar results on a product that costs less than what you're actually supposed to pay for. The first product we have to talk about is probably the most important one, and that is your monitor. For a game like Fortnite, you probably won't need anything more than 1080p. Competitive Fortnite isn't really at all that beautiful to where it warrants anything more than a 1920 by 1080p resolution, unless you can afford to spend on a 1440p monitor. 1440p monitors have replaced 1080p as the base for most gamers, but that principle doesn't 100% apply to esports games just yet. The clear-cut best 1080p monitor is none other than this Asus TUF Gaming 24.5-inch 1080p 280Hz monitor. There is a 27-inch variant, but 1080p strives on the 24 to 25-inch range of monitors, so I highly recommend this variant in particular. Asus has this extreme low motion blur sync technology that basically eliminates ghosting and screen tears. Basically what this means is that if you're playing Fortnite at 240 FPS, then this monitor will match that as an output better than regular 240Hz monitors. I personally have this monitor and I could not be more happy with how it performs at Fortnite, especially since I do play on stable 240 FPS with the new upgrades I've made to my PC. For $229, this is actually a great value product considering that there are similar monitors that go beyond the $300 price tag easily. And to be honest, Asus probably sells by far one of the more durable products in the market, so you know you're getting your money's worth through this product. Now, if you're looking for something a little more budget, then the Asus TUF Gaming 23.8-inch 1080p 165Hz monitor is the way to go. With about the same technology present in the 280Hz monitor, this one is just 165Hz, but a whole $100 cheaper than its big brother. Once again, if you strive to get a monitor that you can trust, that won't break anytime soon, and will provide solid technology for a game like Fortnite, then you can't go wrong with the Asus TUF series. This monitor is actually my second monitor, and it works really well despite having less hertz over my main monitor. However, the change from 165Hz to 280Hz is really not that big, and you can hardly tell the difference anymore. I think the more important jump is 60Hz to 165Hz, which I assume you're looking to make if you want this product in particular. Trust me, you're not going to regret this monitor. For $109, this monitor really packs a punch in the value department, and one that I recommend over products made by other brands. Asus is just a reliable brand, and I can't stress how much longevity this monitor will provide. Moving on to your gaming peripherals, starting with the keyboard. The Wooting 60HE is by far the fastest keyboard in the market, and it has been so for a while now. The switches that Wooting uses are undeniably the best in the gaming market. However, a keyboard that infinitely matches and goes toe-to-toe against the Wooting 60HE in terms of raw speed is none other than the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini. For $139, the Apex Pro Mini provides the same raw speed as its big brother, the SteelSeries Apex Pro TKL. While the TKL variant might be the most famous keyboard for Fortnite Pro specifically, the 60% version is by far the better product for Fortnite specifically. 60% keyboards in general are better for esports games because of how compact they are. Getting a 60% keyboard allows you to have more space for your mouse, which is just such a big advantage if you consider a game like Fortnite. The Apex Pro Mini may not be as fast as the Wooting 60HE in terms of raw speed, but the difference is so close that in my opinion, you have to consider the availability factor. Getting a Wooting 60HE has been one of the most horrific experiences I've ever had with how long the shipping took and how much it cost to just get it over to my country. The Apex Pro Mini is available in all retail stores and is by far one of the most appreciated keyboards in the community, which is why I personally would take the Apex Pro Mini over the Wooting 60HE. Now, if you're not ready to spend more than $50 on a keyboard, then the quick answer is the HK Gaming GK61. If you get the GK61 with Gateron optical yellow switches, then there's actually a good case of you having a faster keyboard than the standard Apex Pro. This keyboard was once regarded as the fastest in the Fortnite community because the keyboard actually bottoms out faster than the Apex Pro did, thus registering the movement much faster. While the keyboard does feel cheap, and I doubt that there's anything premium about this keyboard at all except its speed, it is a great product to have and actually will provide value to you because it's still a very competitive keyboard in terms of raw speed in today's game. You can even take a step down further and get the $30 variants. While the red and brown switch variants aren't nearly as fast as the Gateron optical yellows, they are still great products to buy if you are on a stricter budget. I've personally owned the GK61 for a long time, and I can 100% vouch for the product, especially since it only cost me $30. Now, getting a good keyboard means absolutely nothing if you don't have a good mouse to pair it with. The best gaming mouse in the world right now is none other than the Razer Viper V3 Pro. The reason why I and a lot of other people consider this as the best in the market is because of the Razer optical switches. Razer has different click technology than products like the Logitech Superlight or the Lamzu Atlantis Mini. Razer has been one of the best gaming peripheral companies for a while now, and that's because of how different they are to the rest of the competition. The Logitech G Pro X Superlight was honestly really close, but there is one big issue with the Superlight, and that is the scroll wheel. Not only is it really uncomfortable to scroll, but it is also cheaply made. I currently am using the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, and I broke the scroll wheel in less than 6 months of Fortnite gaming. Sometimes the wheel doesn't register, especially if I scroll upwards. On the other hand, I've had the Razer Viper V3 Pro and have had zero problems with it whatsoever. Unfortunately, I ended up having to give it away because it just didn't fit my setup at the time. But as soon as I broke the scroll wheel of the Superlight, trust me, I was fuming when I realized I had the best mouse in the market, and I just gave it away as a gift for a friend. If you're looking to save a little bit more money, then the Attack Shark X3 is really good for under $50. This is actually a very famous budget gaming mouse, and the main selling point of this one in particular is how closely it resembles the original Logitech G Pro X Superlight. It's actually scary how similar the shape, feel, and speed of the mouse is, which makes you wonder why the Superlight is a whole lot more expensive than this one. A 200-hour battery life is insane for a wireless mouse for $42, and I've been recommending this mouse for over a year now. It's that good, what can I say? For the headsets, there's really no metric for me to use to determine which product is the best. The only ones I can even think of are comfortability and sound quality, which are all subjective in nature. The best one in my opinion is the HyperX Cloud 3 Wireless for $98. It's very comfortable around the ears to me, and I actually really like the bass microphone quality of this one. You probably won't need an external microphone if you have this headset. It's pretty good and still provides great value, even though it's one of the more expensive gaming headsets in the market. But it's obviously not expensive as getting a studio headset. Getting studio headsets or ones that are used in production is really not all that valuable for gaming, so I wouldn't even consider those. A cheaper alternative is the HyperX Cloud 3, but the wired version. It's $61 and it is a lot cheaper compared to its $98 variant, and it basically provides the same sound quality and the same comfort that its wired counterpart does. It's just that your movement is limited, so you can't go to the bathroom with your headphones on, but to be honest, it's really not all that important and not at all that significant, and I would just get this one if you're not into the little details that make wireless headsets effective. For the mousepad, the Artisan FX Zero Soft is a great mousepad. It's one of the fastest from what I've heard and what I've seen. It also has a premium feel that most other mousepads don't offer. However, spending $60 for a mousepad is sort of criminal, which is why I have the Glorious Elements Gaming mousepad as the better variant to choose. For $35, you probably get the same comfort and the same glide effect as the Artisan one. To be honest, it's really not all that deep to get a good gaming mousepad, so I don't even know, especially since most gaming mice will have a sensor that can run on pretty much anything. So the glide is probably more important, in which I think both mousepads provide really well. It's just that the Glorious one is $35 while the Artisan one is $60. If you are interested in purchasing any of the products I mentioned in this video, then feel free to check the link in the description. I have Amazon links that allow you to go straight into the product link. It also supports the channel a lot, and you don't even have to spend extra. It just saves you time to click the link, so might as well do it, as there are a lot of the same products but are sold by different retailers on Amazon, making it sort of confusing to find the best ones.